right, hello everyone. Today we're talking about putting Copenhagen on the Chinese traveler's wish list or on the Chinese travel map. Basically we're doing that by moving beyond what we call cookie, pastry, and mermaid results. And why this title? Why do we want to move beyond this? And actually there was a very good point yesterday, and I believe it was Northern Norway who had this point, yes? About you have to find your panda, you have to find your koala, and for Norway it was the Northern Lights, or beautiful landscapes. And well, for Copenhagen, it's Hans Christian Andersen, the fairy tale writer, and the Little Mermaid. And that's very nice. It's a nice panda to have. But you know, if that's your motivation and that's what you know before you travel to Copenhagen, well, basically, we're setting ourselves up to fail because you'll be disappointed. Hans Christian Andersen is dead, so he's not around. And well, the Little Mermaid is very little. So that's basically why we're trying to move beyond this. We're trying to create expectations, and of course, through those expectations, travel inspirations, by moving beyond these sort of very basic, very static things and giving a little bit more of an authentic Copenhagen idea or view. And and this is of course something that we're doing with lots of different markets, but specifically so for the Chinese market, because the Chinese market, well, it's been for many years, ever since I started in wonderful Copenhagen, everyone's always told me like, yeah, well, for China, they just know Hans Christian Andersen and they're just staying for half a day and they just need to take their picture by the Little Mermaid. Yeah, well, maybe once, but not anymore. And so that's actually what we've been trying to do, specifically targeting the Chinese market, moving beyond mermaid, pastry, and cookies. So today, very simple agenda. First, I'm going to take you a little bit through sort of the overall way how we started working with the Chinese market, how we work with the Chinese market, and then quite rapidly, I'll hand over the stage to Dan, my very good colleague, because Dan is basically the expert in Chinese social media, and that's where our focus will be today specifically. But anyways, we started back in 2012 with what we call the Chinavia project, China, Scandinavia put together. And why is it put together? It's because, well, basically what we know is with the Chinese market, they don't just travel to Copenhagen, they don't just travel to Denmark, they travel to what they call Weibo, which is Northern Europe. It's a joint destination for them. They don't really distinguish between the different countries or the different cities. So that's why we have to join forces, especially facing a huge market like China, where you really need a critical mass to even draw a little bit of attention. So that's what we did. But when we started in 2012, well, the reason we started was that we could see, well, Chinese travelers, they're growing. This is not great wisdom that's pretty much happening all over the world, but that's what we could see, especially starting in Copenhagen. And, well, we didn't really know that much about them. So they're coming, increasingly so, but what can we do? How do we meet their expectations? Do they even like it here? Where do they search for information? We had tons of questions. So we zoomed in on the Chinese traveler. This is part of the pilot project that we did. So in 2012, basically, we amassed a lot of information. 2013-14, we then did a large-scale EU project together with some very good Northern European or Scandinavian partners, amongst others, Visit Sørlandet, who are very strongly represented here. And so we actually did a sort of a very big Nordic project, but today we're focusing very much on one aspect of that project, which is the social media and how we specifically worked in Copenhagen with social media for China. But I'm very happy to talk about all the other activities in our Chinese market project, so come grab me if you want to know more of that. Anyways, but we zoomed in on the Chinese travelers, and we did a large survey of Chinese travelers to the Nordics. And what we could see is that, well, 72% of them are active on social media while traveling. Also, that 67% of them said specifically that they already shared or they were intending to share their travel experience online. So what we have here is a travel segment that's very active and very engaged. But basically, does it really matter? Because they just travel in big groups and you can't really inspire them to do anything. They just have a set schedule they're rushing through. Well, yeah, it does matter because that's not true. Because what we can see from our most recent data is that, yeah, about 56% of the Chinese travelers are tour groupers. These are only Chinese travelers to Copenhagen, so it's not around the world, but actually in Copenhagen, this is the picture already. And 44% of them are FITs, so they're traveling on their own, and they're more open to inspiration. Basically, they have a travel plan that you can influence. Even more interesting is that 82% of them actually answer that they have individual travel preferences. So even for the tour groupers, next time around, they prefer to travel independently. So this gives us a very relevant target group to address with information about Copenhagen that's more than the mermaid. And anyways, here is what we know that they research before they're coming. So of course they're researching attractions and museums, but they're also, interestingly, researching local experiences. And this is also one of the things, I'm met by a lot of questions about Chinese travelers and a lot of sort of prejudices in a way, or at least preconceived concepts of how the Chinese travel. And basically, there is this very sort of strange idea that Chinese travelers are not very interested in the society that they travel to. They just want to eat Chinese food. They just want to speak Chinese, and so on. And well, there is a certain aspect of that, which is true, much the same as when, I don't know, has anyone here been to China? Yes. And how many of you had Western food just once when you were there? Maybe for breakfast, maybe for lunch? Yeah, be honest, come on. Okay, that's about at least 50+% of those who'd been to China. So that, and for the Chinese travelers, it's the same. But they are looking for local experiences. And then, of course, food, drinks, and shopping, we know that's pretty much for everyone. Then, of course, as part of our survey, and what we asked them is, so what's your best experience when traveling in Copenhagen this time around, and what was your worst experience? And for best experience, what's really nice is that it's the mermaid. But it is also a lot of things like environment, blue sky, happy people, friendly people, and so on. So there's very much a Copenhagen feel to it. Then we asked them, of course, what is your worst experience? And unfortunately, it's pickpockets, because everyone knows that the Chinese carry a lot of cash, and let's not talk about it, because we don't want anyone else to know. But so pickpockets is a problem. Weather, expensive, not enough hot water. That's not hot water, that's because they drink hot water for their food. And so on. So these are sort of general, well, everyone knows that the weather in Copenhagen is sometimes so-so, and it's quite an expensive destination. But also, the mermaid. And this is basically my whole point, that we're setting ourselves up to fail by only promoting, only talking about the mermaid. And just to run back a little bit, in 2012, when we started our project, we did a sort of a mapping of Chinese internet. Where are we on the Chinese internet? Scandinavian destinations in general, are we visible? And if we are, how are we visible? And generally the conclusion was we were practically invisible. No search engine optimization, no Chinese website, no nothing, no profiles on social media. And even if we were present at some level, officially or unofficially, the only thing you could basically find was the mermaid or the butter cookies. So that's what we've been doing in the past year, 2 years, and that's where I'm leaving the stage to Dan, because he's going to talk to you about, so what is it that we do on social media now where we are moving beyond the mermaid?
Hi everyone. We'll start with this graph over here, which is the Chinese social media landscape. If you have ever showed interest in Chinese social media or searched about it, you've probably seen this graphic. It's a yearly graphic published by CIC showing you, all of you, what kind of social media tools that the Chinese are using, and also showing the equivalent English app. And most of you have probably heard about Weibo and WeChat, the two big players. Sorry. But this graph also shows you that it's a complete different ecosystem. You can't just link a video to, I mean, if you are established on Weibo, you can't just link a video back from YouTube. You have to upload it to a corresponding Chinese social media platform. The graph also shows that there's lots of players on it, but as you know, there's two key, big players. Signe Weibo, which actually, Weibo means micro, Bo means blogging, so it's the Signe microblogging. The other one is WeChat, which means micro-chatting. Sina Weibo is usually referred to as the Chinese Twitter/Facebook, and you'll see the layout later on. It really looks like Facebook, but it has the limitation of those 140 characters. And it's there's about 30% of the users who use the web browsers, and 70% uses their mobile apps. And it's an open system. By that I mean it's anyone sitting here could log on to weibo.com/visit Copenhagen and see our profile right away, the first 40, 50 posts. You won't be able to see the comments. You won't be able to zoom the pictures, but it's there. And you can see how many people are following us, how many posts we've made, who we are following, and stuff. And you can start searching. And the monthly active users is 175 million. This is Sina's own numbers from December. And then we have Tencent WeChat, which is, a year ago it was referred to as the Chinese WhatsApp. But it's much more than that. That's why I put it on +++. You use it for calling. You don't call. You use the the WeChat app to make calls. You send WeChat messages instead of SMS. You send voice messages. You make video calls instead of using another app. And you can share pictures. You can share your microblogs. You can subscribe to verified users, and they can publish articles which you can share. You can also share content from Weibo to WeChat. And it's a mobile-based app. You can only use it on your mobile. You need a phone number to register. And it got a lot of other built-in functions. You can buy a plane ticket, train ticket, cinema ticket. You can pay your bills. You can transfer money. And you can give, you can pay your insurances. It's like you can call a cab, so it's like Uber. You don't need all the other stuff. You just need WeChat. And that's why it's massively popular. And the monthly active users is 500 million. It's a closed system, as I said. You need to have a phone number to register. You can't just follow anyone. You can't stalk people. You need to be friends with someone else in order to interact. And you can then subscribe to profiles. So yeah, very closed system. And when we started, there were very few foreign DMOs actually on WeChat. Only if they had a Chinese office, they could be doing that. So we focused on Weibo in the beginning, and that's what I'm be talking about. Oh, sorry, one more point. WeChat is like the black horse. Everyone is talking about WeChat now, but it's no surprise because the company behind Tencent is the largest internet app company in China, and they used their earlier Messenger app still has 800 million active users. So they're trying to get people moving from that platform to WeChat now. But before talking about our content, this is what, if a Chinese traveler search for Copenhagen travel, they'll land on these three types of sites. They're the travel sites, where people contribute with their own travel journeys, and then the site will sort of gather all this information and publish guidebooks. There's Chungyou and then there's Mafengwo, the two most popular sites. And then there's the OTAs that also publish these kinds of guidebooks covering all the attractions, what you need to know, the currency, the weather, and stuff. And then there's, of course, the tourism bureaus, us, with the Copenhagen's Chinese website on the left. And then we have a Mayo website, Scandinavian roaming website, which is a joint website by Scandinavia. So we started on Weibo, microblogging. This is our profile. If you log on to the weibo.com/Copenhagen, you'll see this one. You can see we have right now 15,000, almost 16,000 followers. We've posted 455. Should I do that? Yeah. Posts since November 2013. And it's a bit like Facebook. You have the cover picture, you have your ID, you have different services, and then you have a slideshow going on. And when I press the button, this screen will go up. It'll sort of scroll through our feed. I'll just to let you know what we're posting recently. And it's about the same thing if you watch it on your mobile phone, these blocks of posts. So we have a post about our maps, the Chinese city map, a post about how easy it is to go to visit Malmö, a post about different patisseries in Copenhagen, portraits of royal guards, the new yearly, the best Danish cake, the solar eclipse a few days ago, Copenhagen pictures, a new production of Swan Lake at the Royal Theatre, architecture from Copenhagen, some user-generated content. I'll get back to that. Some funny Danish words. Again, Swan Lake. Again, some user-generated content. And a post on water posts and off public toilets. Here, a chef showing you how to cook an egg. A bike show going down in town. And then a view of Strøget, which is our main pedestrian street. And this just goes on, and you can just scroll and you can share. And now I get to now you've seen the post, I'll just sum up the characteristics. As I told you before, it's 140 characters, just like Twitter, but it's 140 Chinese characters. So you can tell a much more, like a bigger story. I mean, it's actually a lot of characters to use, and you can attach up to 9 pictures, images, and you can attach one video link, and it will show up as a thumbnail. And about the images is, if you upload one picture, it will show up as a small square, as you just saw on the feed. If you upload 9 pictures, you get the full square. It doesn't do as on Facebook, where if you just post one amazing picture, and it will just be the same size as any. So if you post, for example, Northern Light in this occasion, you need to post 9 pictures to make it seem amazing. And then you can use topics using hashtags. People do that. We do that. And you can mention people, as you do on Twitter, as you do on Facebook, to get the attention of others or to let people go their direction. And you use emojis. You use lots of emojis. So yeah, do that. And this is an example of a post. That's 140 characters, and it actually sums up the news about the new Michelin guide on Denmark, how many new Michelin-star restaurants and such. And there's a hashtag which is highlighted in green. And we're mentioning the Michelin guide profile page. And let's go on to, oh, that was too quick. Users, that's also a fun fact. As you can see, well, it's in Chinese, but these are actually not names. These are not Dan Schou or a regular Chinese name. These are IDs. These are stuff that these are like nicknames. And they don't use profile pictures. Some do, of course, but the majority uses a picture that they like. Some cartoon or maybe a picture of themselves holding a camera so you can't really see them. And just to give you an example of like these nicknames, and this is just one of our most recent followers, 不小丁是个好孩子, and that means little pudding is good kid. That's not a name, but it's how people choose to be online. And as you can see, this guy is following 1,300 profiles, 563 fans, and this guy has been posting a lot, or reposting a lot, 14,000 posts. So people have, I mean, if you see this kind of profile, you know this guy has been reposting a lot, just spamming everyone else. And that's actually the culture. There's a lot of reposting. But when you get started, and you're a nobody on the Chinese social media, you could buy fans. I'll get to that later on. But the first thing to do is actually for you guys, if you do want to establish yourself on this Chinese social media, try to find your Chinese social media family. And that could be, when I say foreign ministry, that means actually lots of countries have their embassies in China actually have an official Weibo account. Those could be your first family. And then there's also the kind of profiles that's like, this is Finland or official Sweden. That's also operated by the foreign ministries of each country, but it's separate from the embassy. And then your national or regional tourism bureau might already have a Chinese office and thereby might have a Weibo account. But also try to reach out to your Chinese social media friends. There could be established brands from your own country already on there. There could be stars, personalities, movie stars, singers, sports stars, whatever, that have a verified account and maybe not use it directly, but they might post pictures from, for example, Instagram is actually usable. You can post directly from Instagram to Weibo. Some people do that. And also try to reach out to the grassroots, people who are actually actively blogging about your destination, like I did before getting into one for Copenhagen. And look out for the key opinion leaders that might be in the same field as, for example, for the Copenhagen, we have, people are blogging about Scandinavian design or Scandinavian architecture. That's the ones that we want to reach out to. And then the most important ones are then your followers. There's the travelers. This is much like the Amsterdam thing. The travelers, they might follow you before they come here. They follow you when they are here and ask you questions when they're here. And they actually maybe follow you afterwards when they post images or whatever, and they sort of want to search for Copenhagen, and they actually find us at that time. And then there's the Chinese Copenhageners, people who are coming here for studies, for work, married to a Dane. They are to-be Copenhageners, current Copenhageners, and also ex-Copenhageners, people who have been on a study trip in Copenhagen. And then there's just the fans that likes the idea of Copenhagen. Copenhagen, again, this mermaid connotation. So what we do on Weibo is we try to focus on these three kind of things, and then there's a lot of other stuff going on as well. But events is what a lot of followers who are coming to town or are in town, what they ask about. This is just an example. It's called the Human Library, a Danish invention, but it's like going to a library on a certain date, and you don't borrow books, you borrow people, as you can see here, soldiers or a homeless people or a refugee. Or what. So that's a Danish experience. And then there's the culture part, which is a bit like the one like only in Holland. This is only in this is only in Copenhagen or in Denmark, maybe also in Amsterdam or Holland. But people carrying their Christmas trees back home during Christmas, and this is actually quite a popular thing, because when the Chinese see this, and you don't know much about Christmas traditions, but you sort of see a connection to the Chinese New Year, where people also buy plants and take them home. And then there's the last one, which is the CPH mood, the Copenhagen mood. We got the architecture. It's also a city of bikes, lots of rain, which enables us to take these kind of pictures, puddle shots, which are also quite popular. And this is what we started doing. And then there's another function on Weibo, which is you can actually search for what people are posting around you. And I do that almost every day to see what people are doing when they visit Copenhagen. And then I found this girl. This was back in January last year. That posted these images, as you can see, from 3 different parks in Copenhagen. And I thought these are really cool pictures. These are taken by her, and that's how she sees Copenhagen. And this is actually, as she mentions, this is her favorite. This is her highlight of Copenhagen. I asked her, do you want to let us share that with our other followers? And she said, yes, of course. So we started using this hashtag called Copenhagen in my eyes, Copenhagen, to feature users' images. And we let them also attach a story to it. So you can see, this is our post, and you can see it says there's the second, I mean, that's the person, and she attaches a story to it. We post that, and that got really good. That was really well received, and people started using this hashtag. And we sort of also wanted to give something back to these people, so we started sending postcards from Copenhagen. I mean, these people are probably already back home, but then we'll send out a postcard from Copenhagen to them, thanking them for sharing this with us. Another example of Copenhagen in my eyes, like people have different highlights of their trip. This is one guy who just loved street corners. Like that was his thing. That was, but then not just street corners, but also, as he tells in the story, it's the, you can't see it on the picture, but you can see it on the other ones, it's the encountering of people on street corners. It's the people on street level. That he really liked. And then local Copenhageners, Chinese Copenhageners started joining in by making even more fancier shots. And of course, they should be. We should feature them as well. Ooh, 1 minute! Wow. And another example of engaging locals. This is a post. We did this post. It's at the metro construction site. There was like these angel wings, and people could just take a picture with it, use the hashtag, and people started sending us images. And we were quite surprised that people just wanted to do that. And then the people just took this hashtag to them and started reviewing sort of their Danish weddings they attend to, or their museum trip, or if they go to a restaurant, or if they try Danish food, they'll just use the hashtag. And then the last sort of engaging is the netizens, the people who are back home in China. This is from December. We had like a series of Christmas posts. We introduced the Danish Christmas heart, like paperfold hearts, which is invented by Hans Christian Andersen, and people were quite excited about it. And we've put on some tutorials and said that give it a try and send in the pictures, and we'll pick 30 winners. And people send it in. Just some of them here. It's actually, I think we got 300 unique Christmas hearts by 220 people. Some numbers. We've talked about followers. We have 15,000. That doesn't sound like much. You may have seen larger profiles with 500,000, 1 million. I'll get to that. You have subscribers, which are the people who actually subscribe to your newsletters that you can push out. There's the interaction, like the reposts, comments, and likes. And then there's the view, which is exposure. And the view, that's the one that's secretive. That's the one that you can't really fake. Because the other ones are, you can buy followers, you can buy interaction. People just repost it. Like zombie fans will just repost it. So do look out for these two numbers. Like, be skeptical of these numbers. The last thing is boosting views. There is built-in functions where you can boost your views on a post. But what most people, there's a business, which is you can buy retweets from KOLs. We have done that a few times. This is one example. It's actually just a trick for girls who are wearing dresses when they bicycle. You can use a coin and a rubber and to make it sort of attach, so you don't show off too much. We got it posted, and it's actually generated, that's 1.36 million views, 1,200 retweets, and yet likes and so on. So KOLs work, but do look out for, I mean, you have to negotiate the price and how you pay, but also see if they have real followers and ask for their views. They'll share your views, ask for documentation, ask for a screenshot of their views. And see if they use fake retweets, and also choose KOLs that suits your focus and format. Some are specialized in video, some are specialized in humoristic GIF, some are specialized in good photography, and so on. And you can ask for a repost, which is someone posting yours, or you can ask for original post, so it looks like it's their own post, but you're mentioned. And the last part is about WeChat. Everyone is asking us why we're not on WeChat yet. We are trying desperately to do that. Registration is a pain. Verification, that's the next part. It's a pain as well, because they want to be sure that it's actually us saying that we want to be on WeChat. They need lots of documentation. But when we finally get on WeChat, we do have some plans. One of the things is auto-reply. That's when you type in keywords on WeChat and you sort of get content based on that keyword. We want to do an active event calendar for our travelers who are in town. And we will sort of repost the old content from Weibo maybe, and maybe do campaigns. And the takeaways, be consistent. That's keep doing what you're doing, and post like you're not on work, because that's people get skeptical when if your posts only are posted between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. That's work related. I post on weird hours. I keep posting even during holidays, and it's the same style of writing. It's the same kind of images. Be local. Do show, if you're doing it from Europe, do show that you're actually based here. Lots of DMOs have Chinese bureaus. Doing it from China, they might not know about the special things about your city or country. And be responsive. That's react to what your followers do and ask for. For example, the images, or we also have an example, which is we have made a few animations. 6 animations highlighting. It's actually, we would gather all these questions and we sort of put them into boxes, and we came up with 6 themes: the traffic in Copenhagen, day trips around Copenhagen, the Scandinavian languages, Danish history in short, and then fun facts about Scandinavia and Scandinavian food. And I'll just show you one of the fun facts of Scandinavia, because people have, they like to address these differences and likenesses of the Scandinavian countries.
Hi, my name is Bebe.
And my name is Xiao U. We just went on a holiday in Scandinavia.
And stayed in Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark.
Here are some fun and interesting facts about Scandinavia.
There are way more pigs than humans in Denmark, and almost 500,000 elks inhabit the Swedish forests.
Norway exports almost 1 billion kilos of salmon each year. That's a lot of fish. Norway and Sweden both have high mountains, so they tease their friends in Denmark because their highest peak is only 170 meters. Denmark is by far the smallest of the Scandinavian countries. Norway and Sweden are much larger.
Unless you count in Greenland, which is part of the Danish kingdom. Then the Danes are the clear winners.
Fun fact: the Danes have chosen the mute swan as their unique national animal.
Norway and Sweden have both chosen the elk.
Scandinavia tops the list when it comes to coffee-drinking nations.
On average, every person drinks at least 4 cups a day. This keeps the Swedes and Norwegians up all night to watch the beautiful aurora.
But when it comes to alcohol, the Danes are in the lead.
So, when you visit Scandinavia, try to see if you can keep up with their drinking habits.
And be sure to look for the national animals:
the mute swan and the elk.
that was it.